Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and I was cleaning out my closet a few weeks ago and I found this oldie but goodie. I remember unboxing this on the channel in what I believe was a Fallout loot crate video, but when I found it, I was so excited. I went, well, this was like 2015. Certainly this doesn't fit me, but when I put it on, it was a good, loose fit. It was just like old times. And speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about Fallout New Vegas. I've been going through my comments, been going through my Twitter mentions, and I've been getting one question very often, or one statement. Now's got to be the time that we get a New Vegas remaster, or I'm not replaying New Vegas now for Season 2. I'm waiting for that remake. And so, in natural Mr. Matty fashion, we're going to get into the granular detail, starting with Fallout Season 1, working our way through the timeline of what I think Bethesda is planning for Season 2. And the too long didn't read is that if we do get a Fallout New Vegas remaster or remake, whatever it may be, I think it's 2029 the earliest. And to get a little bit deeper than that, I think there's a possibility that Bethesda may not give us that at all and may opt to give us a brand new game set in that location. I'll break it all down, but this is a lot of speculation and fun conversation. I was originally thinking maybe I hold this topic for later in the year when we get closer to the show. I imagine the video would do better that way, but as I thought about it more, for those who do watch my content frequently, this is a good way to set expectations, so I feel like you know what to expect going into the Season 2 launch. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, of course, if you're into Fallout, you're in the right place, but anything gaming, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. So to get to where I want to get with New Vegas and its remake conversation, I want to start all the way at the beginning, Season 1. It's around the top of 2024, and if I'm Bethesda, here's what I think is going through their head. We have zero expectations for this show. We don't think it's going to do that great at all. Why do I think that? Number one, across the entire Fallout franchise, they had zero content ready for the launch of Season 1. I'm talking merch was barely being pushed. Fallout 76 got a Vault 33 jumpsuit. Fallout 4's next-gen update came out weeks after the TV show had already aired and the hype had kind of come and gone. And 3, they dropped the entire season at once. Amazon dropped the entire season at once. So when it banged, they were like, oh, okay, well now expectations seem to be in the right place if business moves are to tell us anything. 1, Fallout Daystream being a thing. That's pretty important to note that they've identified somehow all this time later, Fallout is big enough to warrant having its own stream with its own slew of announcements every single year. 2, Amazon is doing Amazon things like now releasing Fallout Weekly to sustain its subscriber counts. 3, Bethesda has said that Fallout 76 will actually have tie-in material with the show, more on that in a little bit. And 4, Xbox has reportedly greenlit both Fallout 5 and, according to Jordan Midler of Video Game Chronicle, the Fallout game that you have been asking for within a year of the show's launch. So keeping that in mind, they didn't expect much because they somehow didn't know Fallout's like this huge phenomenon and that if it was even the slightest bit good, we'd be all over it. So now we're seeing over the last year and a half the reaction to it all. The stream, the 76 tie-ins, the leaked greenlit projects of the ones that we've been waiting for a while. But where does Fallout New Vegas find itself in all this? Well, again, let's continue to set these expectations, right? Bethesda's moving the right direction. We're giving you Fallout content. Why don't I think it's New Vegas? Well, first and foremost, if it's happening, it won't be for a while. Given how flat-footed Bethesda and co were caught with the TV show, this project would have been greenlit as early as maybe mid-2024. And I know it's hard to imagine as Fallout fans because we know how popular the brand is, but I guess at least they know now, right? But the timeline is impossible where they could get a remaster of New Vegas out in response to Season 1 of the TV show for where Season 2 was going, which was New Vegas. But furthermore, Bethesda kind of redefined the standards of remasters with Oblivion, which does throw a monkey wrench into it. It was the game we remembered, bugs and all, but with a new coat of paint on it. And if that is the standard versus what we were originally asking for, which for those who don't know that, who haven't been around the Mr. Matty content for a while, you can like find videos of me talking about Fallout 3 and New Vegas remasters and like 2013, 14, 15. Like we went into it so many times. We were ready to just take like an up-resed port or even just a very basic bare minimum port of like the same exact game. But Bethesda has now shifted those expectations. And because they have shifted them, it means that these types of remasters will take longer, and especially when Bethesda sees how much money they are making off the Oblivion remaster. It's still one of the top selling games of the year. All the more reason to do exactly what you did last time, but try to one up yourself, try to do it even better. So yeah, if you have that window of time where, okay, we could greenlight this as early as mid 2024, it's just not enough time to get this remaster out the door for the show, which I know not everyone was asking like, oh, it has to drop around the show, but maybe they announce it in anticipation for season 2. I don't even think they go that far because, again, as I'm going to get into now, the timeline just doesn't work. I think it's way far out, if anything at all. Let's look at Fallout 3 for a brief moment. You see, Fallout 3 is planned, and I think this comes first, not only because that was the one that was originally planned, but because it can set the standard for what to expect with New Vegas. Fallout 3 and New Vegas, famously because they share the same engine, and Bethesda gave them the asset library to have Obsidian basically make New Vegas with those pieces and then some of their own in a little bit under 2 years. So I could see this very similar thing happening with the New Vegas remaster, especially when the game itself didn't add a ton of new major mechanics. Like, for example, one of the biggest additions to Fallout New Vegas compared to Fallout 3 was aiming down your sights. But I imagine when the Fallout 3 remaster comes around, this will be a built-in feature because they'll be modeling it after Fallout 4, just like Oblivion Remaster modeled itself after Skyrim. So then you look over at the FTC document. Based on this, everything we've seen that's come true from this document, and that's essentially all of it, everything here was delayed by 2 to 2.5 years. That means Fallout 3's remaster is likely a late 2026 or mid 2027 release date. Meanwhile, Nate the Hate, who accurately leaked Oblivion, said it'd actually be a while before we get to see it. And given that the Oblivion remaster got pushed into 2025 and Virtuos is likely handling this Fallout 3 remaster too, I'd throw late 2027 out there. So now bringing it all back to Fallout New Vegas, if this ends up being an added on part of the plan, it's like, oh, we should do this next, which I think they should. It's like Fallout 3 is coming first because it's further down the pipeline, and that means you still need years to make it. So if, let's say, Fallout 3's remaster drops in 2027, 2029 is still a pretty like optimistic release window, if I'm honest about it. But this is where we get into deep cut speculation now, because that's if Fallout New Vegas remaster is ever going to be part of the plans. You have to look at it from this angle too. When Jordan Midler spit out the rumor on the FPS podcast that another Fallout game is on the way and it's the Fallout game that you've all been asking for, no one really knows what that is. He could be thinking, oh, it's Fallout 5. Like, that's the one everyone wants. That's the one everyone's asking for, because the last Fallout game we got was 76, which is now in a great place, but it wasn't for a very long time, and it wasn't the Fallout game that people were really wanting at that time. So he could mean 5. But for a lot of Fallout fans, they've interpreted that as a Fallout New Vegas too. And I get why. Still, the reality is, at the heart of it all, we have no clue at all. It's a safe assumption, yes, but it's not a definite, as is the world of rumors. So to me, when I see that, it's possible you take the New Vegas remaster completely out of the equation, and Bethesda and Xbox have opted to say, well, why don't we just make a new game set in New Vegas, or make a game set around the west coast of Fallout? Like, I feel that is the obvious move for Fallout 5, which I've already gone in depth on why I think it's going to be in San Francisco, and Bethesda's teased that pretty heavily, and also literally made sure Obsidian did not take San Francisco off the map in New Vegas because they wanted to use it as a future location. And when you look at that combined with the TV show focusing a lot on the West Coast, I do think that's the next mainline game. But I do want to just float the idea out there that just because it's obvious to us doesn't mean it's obvious to them. For example, I think a New Vegas remaster is free money, and no matter when you deliver it, you should deliver it because that would be great for fans. However, after interviewing Mark Dara and learning how EA turned down not only a Dragon Age Origins remake idea, but remasters and the Champions trilogy, I don't think these execs sometimes have a clue at all what a good money opportunity is, even if it literally slapped them in the face like that. So while, again, it's obvious to us, like, oh, it's obvious Fallout's big, they're just greenlighting Fallout 5 now, and this is years after Xbox has owned Bethesda. It's a little insane how slow-moving things have been for this franchise. Yes, the TV show has dramatically accelerated all, but it's all reactionary, which is a worrying case unto itself. I'm glad they're making moves, though. So yeah, I don't really think a New Vegas remaster is a guarantee, not even because it's not in the rumor mill, but just because, like, what rumors we do have surrounding New Vegas or New Vegas 2 have popped up multiple times more than anything involving a New Vegas remaster. And there's also the world where the Fallout 3 remaster synchronizes well with like a season 3 or 4 of the Fallout TV show that maybe makes its way to the East Coast, but that's like far-flung speculation. We'll see if we even get there yet. So what are we expecting for the TV show? Well, for starters, I know it makes sense in our brains that New Vegas show equals New Vegas game, and that should just be what happens. But remember that Fallout 76 was the biggest beneficiary of this show, as I've covered before. It's not Fallout 4, not Fallout 3, not the originals, but 76. And if you want to cut deeper than that to get to the lore aspect of it all, 76 is the polar opposite end of the timeline. Like, it has nothing that really reminds you of the TV show outside of it being the current updated Fallout product. So I can see a world where 76 focuses even harder on the TV show. Keep in mind, two things have been said. One, Bethesda has teased that whatever's coming out next for 76 is the biggest update the game has ever received. That means it's bigger than Wastelanders, and that is absolutely significant. Number two, they have already promised that they are going to have tie-in content with Season 2. What that will be is anybody's guess, because we don't know how closely these teams are collaborating, but given how much money and attention 76 got, I could see a world where there was a deeper relationship there. And money talks, right? Like, if there is a time to swing hard with 76, especially with its surprise resurgence, I do think Season 2 is a great opportunity to do so. And if you look at the community calendar that just released today, you can see that at the end of December, the day after the new season of the show drops, Bethesda is doing Double Score and Gold Rush. So yeah, I think they are preparing for the influx of players. Like I said, though, in prior videos, yeah, I think 76 is going to swing extremely hard for Season 2. Otherwise, we have the leak from Juicehead, who says that Fallout 4 is going to be getting creations of some kind. Beyond that, though, it doesn't seem like there's going to be much more. Otherwise, anything else to me beyond Fallout 4 creations and a massive 76 update would be a welcome surprise. Like, for me, a welcome surprise would be, hey, we're actually going to port Fallout 1 and 2 and Tactics to consoles. I look at what happened with Icewind Dale and Planescape and the old Baldur's Gate games and how they brought these CRPGs to consoles. Like, I just want that level of porting for Fallout 1 and 2. I think that would be great. Would they sell like hotcakes? I don't know if necessarily that would be the case, but I think you get a lot of curiosity purchases like, hey, let me try this. Could they use some quality of life updates? Sure, but I think they could release just fine as is, because the Fallout brand is a titan, and there are many people who said, I've skipped on this, let me just give it a shot. Especially when Bethesda has shown a willingness to bring back really random FPS games like Heretic and Hexen are back. They remastered Doom on like a yearly basis. They remastered Quake. Like, why not do this for Fallout? I know Todd shut it down when I asked him about it, but also it looks like plans have dramatically changed since the TV show has kicked up and Xbox has shut down a lot of studios and started to reorganize their assets. So to me, that would be a pleasant surprise. But if you're just watching this video to try to find out, like, what should I expect? Keep your expectations there. You get Season 2, you get a big swing with 76, maybe you get some surprise creations for Fallout 4 that end up being really exciting. Otherwise, anything else to me is a bonus. That's where my head is at. We'll see what ultimately happens, what Bethesda and Xbox are planning, but I'm not expecting more than that. If you're expecting a New Vegas remaster, re-release, remake, whatever you want to call it, your expectations, I think, are in a pretty dangerous spot, and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Do I think it eventually happens, though? As I discussed in this video, it's possible, but I also see a world where Bethesda's like, let's just go do a new game on the West Coast and probably make even more money that way, because it's like this brand new product that we can throw all the marketing behind. That's my take on it all. I'm curious to see what you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, so fire away. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.